live, I will be breaking my fast. I do OMAD fast, which means I eat only one time per day. And I'll be breaking my fast live today and have today's OMAD meal, OMAD fast breaking meal. And we'll see what I do with the camera angle. If I want to have meat-ended food, I'll have to push off and go all the way over here so we can have both meat and the food visible. So I'm gonna go to the kitchen and get the food. Actually, get a little bit closer. Here's today's OMAD meal with this part of it. There's rice in the kitchen. I gotta go get it. So here you go. Gotta go get rice. Today's OMAD meal. I've been doing OMAD fasting for 5+ years now. OMAD is an acronym, stands for 1 meal a day, which means I eat only one time per day, which also means that I fast about 20 hours per day. And it's not a fad for me. It's not something I started yesterday. I've been doing this 5+ years. And to be super precise, I have been doing it 365 days per year for 5 years straight. At least 300 out of 365 days per year. Now then I do 2 MAD or even rare occasion eat more than 2 times. But I've been doing OMAD fasting for 5+ years. This is olive oil. This is my customized ketchup. This is the only ingredient that has sugar in it, as far as I know. Ingredients: water, tomato puree, sugar, vinegar, salt, chili. And I added chili and olive oil and this and that to it. And 100 grams of this gives you 21 grams of sugar at least, and I'll be using maybe a tablespoon, so maybe I get 3 grams of sugar. So notice how I leave as I learn when I talk about low sugar diet. The average American consumes about 80 grams of sugar per day, and I said it was 20 grams per day. And since I eat only one time per day, it's very simple. rice doesn't have any sugar. The can of tuna doesn't have any sugar in it, another ingredient, a can of tuna, a can of macro-flavored tomato sauce, this, that, and other thing. So less than 10 grams of sugar in this whole meal. And it is the one meal that I'm eating today, so it makes it easy to keep track of grams of sugar. I maintain a low sugar diet. I do believe that's why it's so hard for people to fast if they're addicted to sugar. Just about a tablespoon of that. I'm also going to get yogurt. This is a lactose-free probiotic yogurt. And this is the Grand Pulse Midoso supplements. Gonna make some changes here. It's 2050. Gonna make some changes to the stream here. A lot of people would like to be slim, and everybody knows if you put the fork down and eat less, they can help you lose fat. I don't have the character required, but a guy who's built like this, I do OMAD fasting. Maybe there's a connection there. Not being soft, out of shape, and having some discipline, and then being able to control your eating. So I decided to get into OMAD fasting, and I've stayed into it ever since. And to be honest with you, it's not like it's like every day it's a battle of discipline, and I'm using so much discipline. No, I don't. I'm not hungry. Meaning, after getting adapted to OMAD fasting, the way that I do it, I don't have food noise. When I wake up in the morning, I don't feel hungry, and I haven't had a minute of hunger all day today. You're going to break my fast. So despite doing OMAD fasting, eating only one time per day, I don't go around being hungry all the time. And I do believe that it's sugar addiction. People are addicted to sugar. I made videos talk about that before, decoding so-called keto flu. I believe that sugar is addictive. People eat a high sugar diet, and if you don't put some food into the body or some liquid that has sugar in it for a certain amount of time, they start feeling hungry and bad. So this is lactose-free kefir probiotic yogurt. Dairy is not that important, okay? Dairy products are not that important. They can be part of the diet, but it's not important. It's a major part of the diet. One of the supplements I don't recommend people to take is calcium. Most people have toxic levels of calcium and also iron. So this is today's OMAD meal, OMAD fast breaking meal. Since I've been talking about health fitness, gonna put up some disclaimers here. This content from education purposes, not personal advice. I was going to call that professional. So maybe I'll go even further out here. Far out, man. Go out here. So this is today's OMAD meal. I eat one time per day, and this is today's OMAD meal. It's my olive oil. It's the kefir. This is kind of a complex meal. All I eat in a day. For me, it's easy to make all I eat in a day videos, because it's not like 3 meals per day and I had to cut it together or something like this. I eat one time per day, so now I might go back for second health cleanse. We'll see. I started eating and see if I go get more rice. But here's today's OMAD meal. I just broke my fast. It's 2053. So since getting into OMAD fast, I didn't stop. I've been doing OMAD fasting 5+ years, at least 300 out of 365 days per year. And I like it. It took some discipline to get into. Like the first week, 2 weeks to a month. But after getting adjusted to it, adapted to it, it's smooth sailing. What's in here? A lot of healthy fats. There's a can of macro-flavored tomato sauce in there. I think it's a 125 gram can, like total. 105 grams. There's a McFlay and there's tomato sauce in the can. A can of tuna, fats, olive oil, avocado, and coconut oil. I used the last avocado actually, so they have the bottom trash. But there's avocado, coconut oil, and olive oil in this meal. I like to see those. Um, Spices, black pepper, chili, and turmeric. Really hot. Oh, there's an egg in there too. So for this video, since it's kind of visual centric, it's like showing my food as I'm eating. I have the light on it, it's pretty annoying. I have autism sensitivities, which are sensitivities commonly called with autism. And how does it affect me? Basically, it's with anxiety, nervousness, stress, can be tense, nervous sometimes if I have these type of lights on. Then it's kind of like a small light in a short amount of time, so I think I can deal with it. So I got autism and sensitivities, which I see me with sunglasses and earplugs a lot of time. And sensitivities means not character defect. It's like an edge or something, it's a somatic response, which means if I have bright lights, loud noises, and I don't have earplugs, sunglasses, I get anxious. I get anxiety, stress, and kind of overloads my brain. Now, part of what helps me deal with that is a low amount of uncertainty version, which means it's kind of like I'm not worried about, oh, I know this is annoying, maybe I end up being anxious, and people can tell I don't care about that, honestly. So, people that have sensitivities and have a bigger problem with uncertainty psychologically is even worse for them. Or people that are anticipating. I mean, if I go to the supermarket, those are the worst type of lights. Now I put on a baseball hat, so the fluorescent lights don't get into my eyes, and I have everything fixed. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna go to the supermarket. I wonder how stressed I'll feel from the lights. I'm not thinking about that because I prepare in advance. And roll things is too much. So I have autism and sensitivities, which means one, that I have sensitivities to certain stimuli, auditory, visual, and the worst type of lights are fluorescents and LEDs. I prefer Edison bulbs, vintage Edison bulbs. That what are some of the effects of these sensitivities? I can tell. It gives me anxiety, basically. One of the things that I've talked about before is how you can get misjudged with autism as like being deceptive because you're not looking people in the eyes. Where with autism, as I have, there's something called eye contact aversion. We don't like looking people in the eyes because it overloads your brain, see, and it gives you more anxiety. And if you're nervous and anxious, people might think you're scared or that you're deceptive or hiding something because they see you being nervous and anxious or tense a lot of times. So that's all the things that you have to deal with. Might have to deal with if you're autistic, being misjudged by neurotypicals. So, anyway, simple. With autism, this eye contact aversion, I have that. It means generally, if I'm socialized with people, well, kind of some anxiety. I have improved with my autism. A lot of autistic people are like hopped up on big pharma drugs, and they're still having issues. I've been improving across the board. Uh, put in the work to improve myself. And I've decreased my sensitivities, and I've decreased my anxiety issues, decreased my anxiety, decreased my sensitivities, and improved across the board. But I had to put in the work. So I was doing some research on this actually, like brief research, because I started talking about it. And it talked about how people with my problems, like sensitivities, they get anxiety from sensory overload, like the bright light diagnosis. If they internalize certain things, then they more damaging to them. Which why it can be so damaging if like caregiving staff ask you if you're scared because you're nervous in the room with them. See, where you risk maybe internalizing a weaker person with autism and be like, well, I guess maybe I'm a scared guy because people ask me if I'm scared when I'm anxious socializing. Okay, so maybe I'm a coward now. They might internalize that, which was so dangerous. I actually had a caregiver step in and ask me, as a people autistic myself, not looking at me in the eyes and be like not looking at me in the eyes and talking, asking if I'm looking so scared over there, which is a form of bullying. You see me that I'm scared because I won't look them in the eyes. It's like this is abusive level. It's not just neglect. I believe that's on purpose that they did that. Make me feel messed with. Yeah, so I'm autistic. I'm a Christian artist, and being autistic is not going to keep me out of heaven or get me there. So the more important thing is that I'm a Christian. I got saved. I believe the gospel. So back to town to order some light bulbs, vintage light bulbs. The all I have is the LED there, but it's a kind of small one, low volt, and it has like the orange things. People don't like my courage. People don't like that they can tell that I'm less fearful, more courageous than they are, which is why some internet trolls would be like to say that I'm scared because they're projecting. They feel like a coward compared to me. They see I'm more courageous and less fearful to a point where they feel like outside that they feel like a coward, which is why they engage in projection. That I want to say Mike's the coward because he makes me feel like a coward. And the clutch at straws be well, Mike is nervous and anxious on camera. Sometimes I'm gonna say he's scared. Uh, I have autism, so I do a lot of times doing public speaking, socializing. I have anxiety and nervousness, and the sensitivities. To talk a little more about that. It's not like a preference or taste. It's like you know what I don't like well lit rooms or something like this. It's kind of like people have epileptic, like if they have certain automatic physical response if they expose this type of light, which is why they have like water sometimes flash photography on it because people have like epileptic seizures as a help of medical condition. If there's certain like flicker rates that can treat an epileptic seizure, okay, it's similar to that, where it's not like a character thing or taste or a preference. That's how what sensitivity is. It's if exposed to like fluorescent light bulbs for me, then I start feeling more anxious. I don't have to think about it. Like I noticed this like contrast being on YouTube for many years. We call YouTube short. Sometimes you want to make like a fitness modeling short I go to the bathroom, turn on the light, and it's got a pretty strong LED in the ceiling. So if I want to make a video with good lighting, it's not like dark, I go in there. And I can tell the difference. Like if I go in there, turn on the light, it's like I start have like nervous vibes, like anxious vibes. I start getting nervous and like anxious and stuff. So I can tell literally how I automatically start feel more anxious and nervous in that environment. It's just a strong LED in there, and semi-fluorescent. It gives me stress, basically, anxiety. Um, I've learned how to live with that. So first, I've decreased my sensitivities by diet, lifestyle, supplementation changes, and then the things that I do to deal with things in the moment. I wear sunglasses and earplugs and shit. A lot of times when I cook everything in one pot, mix it together. This time I have it where it's like rice in one pot, and then the food was cooked in the oven. Yeah, so that's one of the worst things I had to deal with caregiving staff using my autism to abuse me and make me feel bullied. Where it's like they're insinuating because I'm anxious that I'm scared. See? And it's the way that I've been bullied online too by people harassing me saying you're a coward, you're a coward, you're a coward, which is not the truth. Because I had a caregiver staff member be like, as I'm being my autistic self, having eye contact aversion, and I looked at the person's face quickly and talked and I looked away. They asked me if I'm a woman, if I'm seeing something scary over there, which is like bullying. It's like insinuating that you're looking scared, you're scared. But the truth is you have autistic anxiety when socializing with people, interact with other people, and eye contact aversion. See, notice how that's and it's obviously clear-cut cases, but I believe things like this happening. Sometimes it's the gang stalking persecution from recruiting people to find markets and do things like this on purpose, make you feel mess with. Um, and that type of stuff was like that is undeniably toxic behavior. And people might not agree with me that is the reason the behavior was toxic because someone put them up to do it, but the behavior is undeniably toxic. Yes, I have autism, and one of the ways that affects me is I don't like to look at people in the eyes. It gives me anxiety. And socializing, I have anxiety about socializing. Now, I've greatly improved that. Decreased my sensitivities, meaning what I've been doing to improve my self, diet, lifestyle, supplementation, has made my sensitivities improve. Where I'm less sensitive, I would say, now than like 4 years ago. Um, and improved across the board, social anxiety, uh, decreased that quite significantly. I gotta get some more wines here. At this point, I can bring the whole bottle. It should be cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that will mess with me, and people are wicked, okay? People are wicked. And the people put up the tournament for this program called Wingstock, and they're wicked. And they play dirty games. I've seen several Christian pastor ministries help with this topic. Lord Baker is one of them. Rafi Cottle, another one. The Bible Church. I've seen several Christian ministries participate that help this gang stalking persecution for target me in different ways. Despicable. So I'm a Christian tolerant widow, and a big part of my lifestyle the last 5+ years has been OMAD fasting. Couple of low sugar diet. Yeah, so I'm an autistic Christian told individual, and despite being autistic and being taught with this secret persecution program called gang stalking, I've been improving over time in a lot of ways. I look better now than I did 10 years ago. Damn it. I call it aging in reverse. Cured myself of some health problems. To throw away my Ventline and hated off and asthma attacks anymore. Cured myself of panic attacks and all that problem I used to have. Decreased my sense of insecurity, like I used to say. Like I said. So, you shouldn't require optimal circumstances to be able to grow and improve and prosper and accomplish things. Now, from a certain perspective, you could go like the worst in it, like the bad circumstances could be the optimal ones, I would say. It depends. The same pressure that boils a potato, the softest a potato, hard as an egg. So, how you respond to it, who you are, and how you respond to things matters more than what's happening to you a lot of time. Yeah, who you are and how you respond, how you choose to respond, what you choose to do. Well, in your circumstances, matters more than the circumstances themselves. You understand? It's like the average American is obese, and the average American would like to have visible abs and not be fat. The problem, how fitness goes, losing fat, belly fat. So I've been a sort of make so much hay on spamming bad videos on belly fat, like scammy videos on belly fat. And then the issue go like, well, I don't have time to exercise, or I'm not rich, I don't have the money Joe Rogan has to have like a home gym, like a whole basement home gym or something like this. Make excuses. But I've stayed ripped with a six pack. I've stayed having visible abs despite being low income, have a lot of problems. People go, well, I'm fat because I've had CPC and trauma and this and that, so I stress eat. Well, okay, I also had trauma and being targeted and persecuted and being autistic, and I didn't let that turn into stress eating and get fat. So there's enough information available for people in this world if they design a good effect, like a good outcome. Like God is not promising you that here. It's like the God, you can't count on God helping to get like bad things. But. If. But. If. 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 Somebody's looking to be healthier, and get in better shape. There's enough information in this world where most people will be able to meet the fitness goals if they decided to, if they wanted to lose fat. Yeah, so anyway, I do OMAD classes, all these things I haven't been pushing hard as part of my protocols. When I've been doing OMAD fast, I like it, and it has some benefits for me. I like what fasting does for me. No, it's not something that when I teach about fitness in the protocols and teach other people how to possibly be very healthy, it's not included. It's like one, cut down the sugar, two, detox for life, three, do OMAD. OMAD fast is not part of protocol. It's not for everyone. So, on top of being autistic, which is kind of a deal, it's not easy. Um, I've also been taught with this secret persecution program called GameStop for more than a decade. I'm still going strong. That could be used as an excuse to get soft and undisciplined, lazy, and out of shape, and fat, and be like, oh, it's a very old life. There are things in reality. If you talk about GameStop, there's certain limitations. They are kind of, this is how it is, okay? You can't get away from it. But you have a lot of maneuvering. You can influence things. Yes, I'm the target of a secret persecution program called GameStalker. And people target these are called targeted videos. The Swedish state is involved in this secret persecution program. And if you live in America, jag tar vi då the government in order to. Yeah, Mike's alive, one life out of man more. 37 years. I'm on a 37-year run of one life out of man more. Didn't die once, physically. If you're a Christian, you're dead to Christ, men had the vaccine order på här. Så låter det på. Så är det på. Så låter det på. Right. I had one life out of man more come to an end of it today. Video game. So sometimes I try and cheeky stuff. There's a video game I play normal mode. There's a game mode, a setting called Iron Man mode, which means you can save your games. I can start playing today, save my game, go to bed, reload my save, keep playing tomorrow. That's normal video games. You can save, reload, and if you die in the game, you just load your last save and keep on playing from your last save game. Now with One Life Iron mode, if you die, the first time you die, it's permanently game over. So the first time is the last time. You die in the game, it's permanently game over. So a run came to an end today, a normal mode. Well, that started was yesterday, day before yesterday. I got to port either 4 or 5 before it came to them. See if I saw a new run tomorrow. So follow my Rumble if you want to see my Rumble videos. Rumble exclusive videos. I have a new channel, Mike's Health Fitness. And I'm back to that channel right now and to YouTube at the same time. And an advantage of Rumble is I can talk about health fitness without on YouTube is that there's certain things I can't really talk about. And just generally talk about health fitness, knowing the truth and like we want to speak it's risky business on YouTube. On YouTube say, okay, I want to teach people how to be healthy. I can't talk about this, and that. This thing I can talk about in this way with a disclaimer added. Okay, so YouTube is more like streams entertainment. It's like playing video games and then like exercise and martial arts exercise and every streams like this go on YouTube. So I go live exercise. Okay. Go live play video games exercise. But for health fitness, I prefer to make those videos on Rumble.
This is like post with also supplements. Because I like to load up before I start eating. All right, so that's today's OMAD meal. One meal a day.
Det ska bli en video.